joining Yoga with Lucy. Today I want to talk to you about hip flexors, a group of 5 muscles working together to maintain our mobility and our balance. Used so that the thigh can come closer to the torso, vice versa, allowing these hips to bend. Used in sitting and standing, or even activities such as walking, running, cycling. Stretching and strengthening is important because it can help relieve these tight hip flexors that shorten in certain activities, or if we sit too long during the day. So it can relieve those tight hip flexors. It can make the muscle longer, making you less prone to injury. And let's face it, 1, nobody signs up for an injury, and 2, nobody has time for an injury. So stretching and strengthening is super important. And I encourage you to make that part of your weekly workout routine. We're going to start out on our back today. I love starting out on my back because I feel like I get all the muscles around my spine to relax and release a little better than if I were to stay in an upright position. If laying on your back is not comfortable, please feel free to stay in that upright seated position with your straight spine. Go ahead and maybe close the eyes, have that soft gaze down, it feels comfortable in your body. Start to settle in, notice the breath, notice the spine as it imprints and stamps on the mat beneath you. Maybe you tuck your chin just slightly, elongating the neck, giving that cervical spine a little extra space. Maybe you tuck the tail under, getting rid of the space at this lower back or your lumbar spine. Maybe bringing your hands to your belly, to your heart, or one hand on each. As we turn that attention inward and start noticing what's going on internally, how we're feeling, where the breath is. If you feel the breath more in your chest, underneath the hand that's resting on your heart space, that's a shallow breath. Most of the day, that's where we find ourselves, breathing just into the chest. But if you can expand that breath, send it down into the belly, inflate it, and push against the hand that's resting on that belly, the body relaxes and starts to put us in that parasympathetic rest or digest state of being. Take a couple slow, relaxing, meaningful, mindful breaths. Inhaling through the nose, sending the breath down the spine, inflating the belly, expanding the ribs, filling the chest all the way to the collarbones, maybe pausing at the top before slowly releasing the breath, emptying the chest, the ribs, the belly, pulling that navel in towards the spine, releasing anything extra, anything trapped or stale. Inhaling again through the nose, feeling the rise of the hand on the belly, the rise of the chest, holding at the top, maybe sipping it a little more this time, really feeling the lungs. And then slowly releasing that, maybe opening the mouth, allowing the breath to naturally escape as you feel it leave the body. Maybe you keep your eyes closed or softly flutter them open as we pull those knees in towards the chest. Giving yourself a hug, thanking yourself for showing up on your mat today. While holding on to the right knee, releasing the left leg. It can be bent or straight out. If you're doing this in the morning, I encourage you to keep that leg bent. Have the kneecap shining up to the sky. Still connecting with your breath. Inhale, straightening that leg, sending the sole of the foot in the direction of the sky. You can hold on to the leg or just simply let it hang out here, the thigh bone, falling into the hip bone. As you continue to send that breath into the belly, telling the body it's okay, we can release, we can relax. And start slowly bending and straightening, maybe interlacing the fingers behind the thigh. Next time that leg is straight, go ahead and start pointing and flexing the foot, sending those toes to the face and back to the sky. Do a couple ankle rolls, embracing those pops and crackles. Reverse that direction. And finding stillness, rebending through that knee, releasing the hands, letting the knee fall out for those hip circles. Pretend like you're drawing circles on the ceiling with your kneecap. The circle can be as big or as small as your body will allow. As you come through center, let's go ahead and reverse that. If you find that this left hip comes up, try making your circles a little smaller. And as we round out this last hip circle, go ahead and cross right leg over left, no space, stacking the knees, and pulling the knees in towards the chest. And stay here, maybe grabbing at the knees, pulling them in closer to the body. Maybe you're able to walk those hands down the shin, closer to the ankle. I call this supine cow face. I feel like the feet in this position, just as in the seated position, look like little cow ears. Some others call it shoelace. I guess it depends on the training that you've had. And stay here for a couple of breaths. Unwind, holding on to the left knee, keeping the right leg bent or straight out ahead, whatever your preference is. And slowly straighten that leg, allowing the sole of the foot to shine towards the sky, maybe interlacing those fingers behind the thigh. Still connecting with the breath, allowing it to act as a bridge to connect the mind and the body. When we slow down our breath like this, that slows down the body, it slows down the mind. Again, putting us in that rest or digest state, which is where we want to spend most of our time, but unfortunately we don't. Let's go ahead and start bending and straightening that leg. Next time it's straight, leave it there. Start pointing and flexing those toes, sending them to the sky, back to the face, and some ankle rolls, going in one direction and then reversing your direction. And then releasing, rebending for that leg, letting the hands, maybe bring them to the hips and send that knee out. We'll do the hip circles on this left side. Making sure the hips stay grounded. Again, if this opposite hip wants to pop up, try shortening, making your circles a little smaller. Let's take that in the opposite direction. As you finish up this last circle, go ahead and cross the left leg over right, stacking the knees. Maybe staying here, bringing those knees up towards the chest, flexing at the hip, engaging those hip flexor muscles. Maybe grabbing at the knees, walking the hands down the shins if that's available. Sending the breath down into the belly. And untwisting from this, pull the knees into the chest. We rock side to side. We're going to come up to a seated position. You can either rock and roll along the spine or fall over to one side and push yourself up. I'm going to rock and roll along the spine, warming it up, not rushing. And when I feel like I have enough momentum to come into that seated position, I'll meet you there. Legs can be bent or straight out ahead. Again, honor your body where it is today. Listen to it. If I call or cue something that doesn't feel comfortable or brings you pain, skip it. Take a rest pose, take a modification. Meet your body where it is today. Go ahead and place your hands on your knees. They can be down for grounding or up for receiving that positive energy you're creating. The spine is straight and tall, the crown lifting up to the sky. Those sit bones rooting into the ground beneath you. Imagine those sit bones growing roots, connecting you, offering you stability, security, that strong foundation. As you still breathe into the belly, keeping our breath nice, slow, mindful. Maybe closing the eyes. Finding a moment of gratitude. Again, thanking yourself for showing up. Showing up is 90% of the battle. Go ahead and bring those hands down by the hips, pressing into the fingertips, opening the chest, maybe lifting the gaze. Exhale, bring the gaze back forward. Inhale those arms out and up. Maybe the palms connect or keep the hands separated. We're going to inhale, lift out of that waist. And as you exhale, take it to the right. This top arm reaching up and over. The head placement. Again, your choice. You can look out. You can have that gaze down towards that right hand. Keeping both sit bones grounded into the earth beneath you. Inhale those fingertips to the sky. Lift out of the waist. Exhale, take it to the left. Really feeling the stretch from these right fingertips all the way down to this outer right hip. Really benefiting from this side body stretch. Try not to roll forward. Try not to roll back too far. I'm going to stay here in the middle so that you really feel that stretch along this side body. Inhale those fingertips to the sky. Lift out of the waist. Exhale from the torso, we twist. Left hand on this opposite knee, your right knee. These back fingers pressing down, offering the spine some support. Still keeping both sit bones grounded, looking over that right shoulder. As you inhale, think about creating the space in your spine, lifting the crown towards the sky. And as you exhale, maybe you're able to twist a little deeper from the torso. Inhale, coming through center. Exhale, twisting in the opposite direction. Twisting is good for the body. It's good for the spine. Helps maintain that spinal flexion. We want to be able to bend the spine in all directions. It's good for the digestive system. Brings out those internal organs, promoting detox. Inhale, those fingers to the sky. Exhale, palms coming down to rest beside the hips. Let's walk those hands out, coming into our tabletop position. The hands underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. The head is in a line with the spine. Think about the crown reaching forward and the sit bones reaching back, creating that space in the spine. Belly button pulled in. This is our neutral position. Our fingers are splayed out. We're pressing down through the fingertips. We're not dumping into this bottom palm area. If you start pressing too much in this bottom palm area, you're going to find pain in the wrist and in the forearms. So you can, if you can press down through the fingertips, creating some space in that palm area, it's going to take some pressure off the forearm, off the wrist. We'll do a few rounds of cat-cow, starting with cow and an inhale. Lift the tail, drop the belly, open the chest, lift the gaze. Exhale, tuck the tail, dome that upper back. Bring the chin towards the chest. Inhale, drop the belly, pull those shoulder blades together. Exhale, hollow out the belly. Bring the crown of the head down towards the earth. And do another inhale. See if you can start with the tail, finish with the head, using the whole breath. And exhale. Maybe pulling the belly button in towards the spine. Engage those pelvic floor muscles. And coming back to neutral. Send the left toes back, pressing down to the ball of the foot, squaring the hips. We're going to spin out this right shin, ground the left foot, inhale, the left arm up to the sky, maybe the gaze follows. This is our modified side plank. You look down, the right hand, the right knee, and the left foot should be in alignment. You're gently pressing those hips forward and engaging the glutes. If you have neck issues, keep that gaze down. You can also have the gaze out. If it's comfortable in the neck, extend the gaze up towards those left fingertips that are reaching towards the sky. Maybe you reach the arm out and incorporate some movement, windmilling the arm forward. And then maybe taking it in the opposite direction a few times. And then putting everything back where it belongs, coming back in that tabletop position. I'm going to spin around. Send those right toes back, grounding through the ball of the foot, squaring the hips, spiraling out this left shin, making it parallel to the short edge of the mat, grounding down to that right foot, Peeling that right arm up to the sky. Maybe the gaze follows. Maybe take a look down to see that everything is in alignment, adjusting as necessary. Engaging those glutes, pressing the hips forward. Think about somebody pulling on these right fingertips, reaching towards the sky. Do you feel a little lighter? Maybe reaching that arm out overhead, incorporating that movement, sending the fingertips out, down, back, and up a couple of times, and then reversing that direction, sending it up, down, and out. And then coming back to that tabletop position, let's tuck the toes, send the hips up and back for our down dog. Might need to adjust the hands a little bit. We're pressing down to those fingertips. Belly button is pulled in, protecting that lower back. The hips are up high. The head is relaxed. Shake it no, shake it yes. Our gaze is at our thighs or maybe up towards the hips. Perhaps you want to walk it out, alternating bending and straightening, engaging the bottom muscles of the foot, that plantar fascia. If you run, then this is a great stretch for you. It incorporates all the problem spots, bottoms of the feet, the heels, the calves, the shins, the hamstrings, the low back. And pressing down to those fingertips, broadening through the shoulder blades, and finding stillness, putting a bend in the knees so that you've got a straight spine. And then inhale those heels high, and as you exhale, bend the knees, look forward, and start walking forward. The feet meeting the hands, coming to find your forward fold, letting the head hang heavy. Hand placement, you've got the thighs, the shins. Maybe you're able to reach the floor. Grab these blocks and I'll show you what it looks like to have this support. Props are wonderful. They help bring the earth up closer to you. You're able to experience the whole pose. We're driving down through our feet, four corners of each foot, pressing into the earth, activating the back of the leg, the calf, all the way up to the hamstrings, into the glutes and the low back. That belly button is pulled in for support. The head is relaxed. And breathe. We're going to inhale, finding a half lift. The hands can be on the blocks. They can be here at on the shins, just below the kneecaps. Maybe have a bend to the knee to maintain that straight spine. The head is reaching forward. Those sit bones are reaching back. We're really engaging those back muscles. The belly button is pulled in, supporting the low back. You're breathing here. And coming back down for the forward fold. And pushing down through the feet, bending the knees, rising up, hands come out overhead. Maybe the palms connect. And bringing the hands to heart center. Allowing the hands to rest down by the thighs. Standing tall in our mountain pose. The feet are firmly planted into the ground beneath you. Imagine the feet can grow roots. There's a soft bend to the knee. Turn sideways so you can see me a little better. The tail is tucked. These front ribs are pulled in and down, creating this abs abdomen lock, or the Uddiyana Bandha. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down, allowing them to slide down the shoulder blades. Shine the palms forward. Track the ears over the shoulders and reach the crown up towards the sky. As you inhale, send the crown closer to the sky. And as you exhale, feel those roots pulling you down, giving you the same safety and security that we have in that seated position. Who couldn't benefit from a little more safety and security in their life? So taking these few minutes, few moments, we're not going to be here that long, to sit quietly in our strong, firm mountain pose, Tadasana. As you inhale, bring those arms back up overhead, connecting the palms or keeping them separated, lifting out of the waist. Exhale, take it to the right, this right hand resting on the thigh or the waist. You can also keep it up here, attached to this other palm. Again, the gaze can be down or it can be out past this arm. Whatever feels comfortable for you in your body today. Inhale, reach those fingertips to the sky. Exhale, take it to the other side. Still breathing into that belly, grounding down with this right foot. Let's do that one more time. We'll just flow with the breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, our standing half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Inhale, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, cactus the arms. Opening up the chest, letting that love shine in. Exposing your heart. Inhale, arms up. Cactus again. Creating that baby back bend in the upper back. Still keeping the tail tucked and those front ribs pulled in and down. We don't want to be here, splaying open. We want to be tucked in. Let's exhale, bring those forearms together, doming the upper back. Inhale the arms up. Exhale them down by the side. Move these blocks out of the way. And inhale, arms up. Exhale, coming into that forward fold. Inhale up for half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot back, the left foot back. Holding here in our plank pose. The hands are underneath the shoulders. You can take this on the forearms as well. The elbow would be under the shoulder. You can also take this down on your knees. You can alternate one knee and then the other if you want to keep it a little dynamic. If that belly button is pulled in, you're pressing down either through the forearms or through the palms, fingertips. And we're holding. There's a straight line from the head all the way back to the ankle or down to the knee. And drop the knees, send the hips back, either for a puppy or a child's pose. Child's pose, we're sending the hips back towards those heels, bringing the forehead down to the mat. If the forehead can't reach the earth, we'll bring the earth up to it with a block. If that doesn't feel comfortable in your body, you can try taking that puppy where the hips are over the knees, they stay in the air. Either come down on the forearms and bring in the chest towards the mat, or you can extend the arms out and bring that chest down to the mat. We're going to come position. Go ahead and tuck the toes and start walking the hands back towards the knees. You might need to stay right here, perfectly fine, but I do want you to tuck in these pinky toes. They're stubborn, they like to stick out. If available, bring the knees closer together and start walking the hands up the thighs, stopping at any point and just staying and breathing. We're stretching at the bottom of the foot. The bottom of the foot is neglected. And we spend so much time on our feet. Let's go ahead and bring those hands to our heart center. Take an inhale. Interlace the fingers. Exhale the palms away. Drop the chin to the chest. Dome that upper back. Inhale the palms to the sky. Exhale, release the hands, bringing them behind the body, interlacing the fingers. Inhale the knuckles to the earth, open the chest, lift the gaze. Exhale, release the hands, connect the palms out in front, dome that upper back, chin to chest. Inhale, hands to heart center. One more circle of joy. Interlace the fingers, push the palms away. Inhale, palms to the sky. Release the hands, bring them behind the body. Interlace the fingers, this time putting the opposite thumb on top. Sending the knuckles down, opening the chest, lifting the gaze. Release the hands. Connect the palms out in front. Inhale, bring the hands to heart center. Let's get out of that toe pose. Tapping the toes out. Some people call this screaming toe pose. I wonder why. All right, we're gonna walk our hands back, up the legs. If this is uncomfortable on the knees, feel free to grab a blanket or a towel. Give you some little extra cushion. Inhale, the arms up overhead. Exhale, bringing the palms to heart center. Inhale, bringing this right leg forward. Coming into our low lunge. The knee is tracking over the ankle, which is tracking over the heel. The toes are pointing forward. Then this back leg is extended a little further back. Take a look at the foot, the top of the foot, all 5 toenails pressing into your mat. Keep some space here. We're not going to dump into this. We're going to press down, drive down to that heel and pull back. We're going to press down with this foot back here and pull forward, creating a scissor-like effect, creating this lock. Our strong foundation. Keep the hands here at the hip. You can bring them to heart center. You can extend them up overhead. Palms shining forward, the chest shining forward. Tucking the tail, opening up the front of this left hip. Let's inhale, reaching those hands forward. Bring the hands to the chest. Exhale, twist to your right. Maybe this left elbow connects in the outside of this right knee. Hands are in prayer. Press the palms together, using it as a leverage so that you can twist from the torso a little deeper. Again, we're still driving down to that right heel. We're not dumping into this right hip. Gaze is either over the right shoulder or the right elbow. Unclench your jaw. Breathe into the belly. And inhale the arms up overhead. We'll take a break from that. Bring the hands down. Maybe grab your blocks. And walk them back. Send the hips back. You want the blocks underneath the shoulders if you're using them. This front leg, your version is straight. Let's flex those toes. I'm going to adjust as necessary because you want the hips square. Send the toes to the sky. If you can, flex the foot a little bit more, sending those toes up towards your face. Still driving down to this right heel and pulling back. And that will activate the whole back of the leg, maybe the IT band. The IT band it runs on the outside of the leg. It goes all the way down. Don't really notice it until you have a flare up. Let's keep the chest lifted, the gaze out past that foot. Maybe pull the shoulder blades together a little. We'll stay for another breath. Inhale, walk it forward. Coming back up on that knee. You can stay here, or maybe you want a little extra another version where you can really open up this left hip flexor. Take the left toes, point them to the sky. You can stay here, or maybe reach back with this right hand, grab hold of the left foot, and twist from the torso. Still driving down through this right heel. If this is uncomfortable, just stay down here. It's okay. If you can't reach the foot, that's okay. You can still try it by bringing that heel, those toes, towards that left glute. Strongly encouraged. Props for support. While I can reach the mat, I choose not to. This is a pretty intense stretch. All right, let's release that foot. Don't slingshot it. Windmill the arm down. Send these hips back. Or half split. Hanumanasana. That's a fun one to say. I choose to keep my spine straight most of the time. You could reach it, the head down, but I spend so much time hunched over a keyboard that whenever I can straighten my back and work on my posture, I take advantage of it. All right, I'm going to walk the blocks forward, tuck the toes, and come into that runner's lunge. Fingertips on the blocks. Knee over the ankle, ankle over the heel. Toes are forward. We're on the ball of the foot here in the back. You can choose to stay down on the knee if you'd like. If you want to explore a little bit more, come into this runner's lunge. Pulling this chest forward. Maybe inhaling the arms up, coming into our crescent. Can come into a warrior one if you need a little more stability. I have tight hips, so a crescent is easier for me. It does require a little more balance, but it feels better in my hips. Now reach it forward, bring the palms together at heart center. Take an inhale. And as we exhale, twist to the right. Hold that balance. Maybe exploring down here, connecting the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. You can still do this on the knee if you'd like. All right, come out of that. Inhale, arms up. And step this back foot forward a little bit. Coming into pyramid, bring those arms down to the waist. Look at the feet. Front foot is forward. This back foot, the toes are at a 45-degree angle, tracking towards the left front corner of your mat. We're squaring the hips. Your feet are like on railroad tracks, so they're not on a tight rope. They're separated. The separation allows the hips a little more room and space so that your your hip bones can shine forward. We're going to wrap this right hip back, this left hip forward. Lift out of the waist, press down through the feet, and reach forward with that flat back. We've been here before in that halfway lift. We're engaging the core, pulling the belly button in, activating those back muscles, and breathe. The hands can come down to your blocks. They can be on the thigh, the shin. Maybe you're able to reach the ground. I do want you to keep that straight back though. Reach that crown of the head forward. The sit bones pulling back. Be mindful not to bend or not to lock out this front knee. Pressing down with the big toe mound and the pinky toe mound. All right, bending through this front leg. We're going to take a step forward. And this left foot is going to balance here in front, flexing the foot, driving down through the standing leg. If you're having an extra wobble day, feel free to stack your blocks up so that you can put this left foot on and still maintain. Don't dump your foot into here. It's just providing you a little support so that you can work with the pose, feel the pose, still driving down through this right foot, looking forward. Keep the gaze forward, belly button pulled in. Find something on the floor or the wall that's not moving. It's called a drishti, something to focus on. If you want to explore a little bit more, maybe bring right hand on the outside of this left knee and bring this left arm back and gaze back. Still keeping the hips square to the front of your space. If you're doing this without the blocks, that gaze looking back at your left thumb is an extra balance challenge. Let's inhale, those arms back up, coming to the front of your space, releasing the foot, shaking it out. Before we move on to the other side, we'll go ahead and finish our balancing here. Move our blocks over in case you'd like to use them. You have them handy. We're going to inhale, lifting right foot up, flexing at the foot, driving down to that left foot. Hands are up overhead. Find that drishti. Pulling the belly button in, tucking the tail, finding that support in your core. Maybe playing around, exploring with putting the right hand on the outside, or left hand on the outside of that right knee, and sending this arm back, opening up the chest to the right, twisting from the torso, maybe looking back at that hand, working on our balance, still driving through that left foot, and if you wobble, fall out, come right back. I'll use my blocks for that so I can actually look back. All right, let's bring those arms back up overhead. Bring a foot down, shake it out. Balancing is such an important part of our daily life. You don't realize it, but when you're standing, you're balancing, some form of balancing. Let's come to the back of the mat. Inhale those arms up to the sky. Bring the palms together. Coming down for our forward fold. Release the head, shake out the head. Shake it yes and shake it no. Come up for halfway lift. Hands back down to the earth. Walk the hands out. Let's come back into another down dog. Let's start taking notice. Scanning the body for any changes that may have occurred between this down dog and how it feels in your body and the one we did originally. Maybe you feel a little looser, not so tight. Maybe the body remembers where to go. Maybe the knees don't need to bend as much to maintain that straight spine. And we're going to inhale slowly out to a plank. Adjusting the hands is necessary to have them underneath the shoulders. Again, feel free to come down to the knees or the forearms. We're honoring our body today and meeting it where it is, right now in this present moment. Pull the belly button in for support, no matter which version of this you're taking. Reach the head forward, drive back through those heels. Keeping that straight spine. Pushing down through the hands. Wondering when we're going to come out of this. Is she ever going to stop talking? We'll take one more breath. Nice, slow, deep inhale. Fill the belly. And release it. Coming down to the knees. Send those hips back. Just for a moment. Walk those hands back. I promise I won't make you do another toe squat. We're going to keep walking the hands up the hips. And we're going to bring the other foot forward. The knee is over the ankle. Ankle over the heel. The toes are pointing straight ahead. Let's untuck this foot. Now if you find that keeping the toes tucked provides a little extra stability, feel free, it's your choice. If you've got the foot untucked, make sure all 5 toenails are pressing into the mat. Inhale those arms up overhead. Tuck the tail. You'll notice the more that you tuck your tail, the more that it's going to open up the front of this hip. Driving down for that left heel, pulling it back. Create that scissor effect. Lock in those hips. Reach those arms forward. Bring the hands to heart center. Exhale, twist to your left. Right elbow maybe finds the outside of that left knee. We twist from the torso. Gaze over that left shoulder, that left elbow. Think about when we were sitting doing this twist. As we inhale, we reach the crown to the sky, creating the space in the spine. And as we exhale, twisting from the torso, maybe finding a little deeper twist. And inhale those fingertips to the sky. Exhale, grabbing these blocks, sending the hips back. That left leg is straight. Get your version of straight. Our hips are square. The blocks are underneath the shoulders, if you're using them, which I highly encourage. They have different heights. You've got your low height, you got your medium height, and you got your tall height. I was in class once when they referred to it as baby bear, mama bear, and papa bear. You'll find me using papa bear height quite a bit. So that left hip is pulling back. You're driving down through that left heel. and pulling it back. I think I said right hip. I meant left hip. I don't know. Yoga teachers can't always tell their left from the right. All right, so let's walk it forward, bending through that knee. If you want a different version of this, maybe bring those right toes up towards the glute. And stay there. Reach this arm back. You can reach this arm back for a twist. If you're twisting, remember to always twist from the torso. We never want to twist from the lumbar or the neck. And you never want to force anything. Yoga is all about finding your edge and either staying at the edge or backing off slightly. Because once you go over that edge, it's hard to come back. And breathe into the belly. Again, we still want to keep that breath out of the chest and send it down into the belly, telling the body it's safe. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release the foot, don't slingshot it back. Windmill the arm down. And stay on the knee or tuck the toes, come up on the ball of the foot for a runner's lunge. Fingertips on the blocks, pulling that chest forward. Really driving back through this right heel. Leg is as straight as you can get it. Keeping the hips square. Let's inhale, the arms up overhead. Coming into a crescent or the warrior one, where your foot is down at a 45-degree angle. And the hips are as straight in your space as you can get them. And I like that crescent because it frees up my hips. I can really get into the front of the step in a crescent, both on the knee and up on the ball of the foot. So if it feels better for you to stay on the knee, I encourage you to do so. Let's inhale those arms forward, bring them to the chest. Exhale, twisting to the left, maybe exploring with the right elbow on the outside of that left knee. Twisting and looking over the shoulder or the elbow. We won't stay here long. Inhale to come up. Again, maintaining that balance. Let's step this back foot forward. Bring the arms down. Setting up for pyramid. Again, the feet are like they're on railroad tracks. This back foot is tracking at a 45-degree angle to the right front corner of your mat. The left foot is straight. Our hips are straight. Our hip bones are shining forward, lifting out of the chest and the waist. Take an inhale. And exhale, bring the chest forward, flat back. Engage the core, pull the belly button in, really engaging through those back muscles. The hands can stay on the hips, they can come to the thigh, the shin, blocks. Blocks will be underneath your shoulders, pressing down through all four corners of both feet. As the left hip is wrapping back, right hip wrapping forward. We're not locking out that front knee. Crown of the head reaching forward and those sit bones reaching back. And you breathe. And you unclench your jaw. Take away the brow line. We're not squinting. Our brow's not all furrowed up. Our face isn't puckered. this front knee. Take a step forward with the right foot, coming into our forward fold. Letting the head hang heavy. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows for ragdoll. Sway side to side. That belly button pulls in, always supporting the lower back. Come up for half lift. Either using the blocks or the hands with the shins. Exhale, plant the hands. This time step the left foot back, bring the right foot back. Again, we're in this plank position, the belly button's zipped up. Either on the knees, the forearms. And we're going to slowly lower down as slow as you can go until the whole body touches the earth. And untuck your toes. The hands are underneath the shoulders. We'll do a baby cobra. The feet can be either together, the legs can be zipped up as if you have one, or you can keep them separated for a little more stability. Put the hands under the shoulders, pressing that pelvic triangle into the mat. We inhale, lifting the head and the chest. These elbows are wrapped in. This chest is pushing forward, coming through the opening in the arms. The gaze is just out past the mat. The tail is tucked. That pelvic triangle glued to the mat. The shoulder blades coming towards each other. You've got so much support, but maybe you can explore taking the hands off the mat, only if it doesn't compromise that low back. Let's exhale, take it down. Bend at the knees, let the feet sway side to side. And finding stillness, we're going to come up into a Sphinx pose, where the hands and forearms are on the mat. The knees, not the knees, the elbows are underneath the shoulders. All 10 toenails pressing into the mat. We're pulling that chest forward, bringing those shoulder blades together, lifting the gaze, not too much. Pressing down through the pelvic area, pressing down with the tops of the feet. Feeling a stretch from basically the chin all the way down past the belly button. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths. You can come out at any time. And release that. Bending at the knee, letting the feet sway side to side. And coming back up into that Sphinx pose. You can stay with that, or maybe you want to explore taking the right arm, putting it at a 45-degree angle, and with this left hand, reaching back, grabbing that left foot, opening up the front of that left hip. Still pressing down to this right forearm, not dumping into the shoulder. Now if you have a strap, or a tie, or a belt that has, you can make a loop out of it. You can loop that over the foot. You're not just hanging out here, you're actually moving the foot, bringing the heel closer to the glute. We're not just pulling it with the strap. The strap's just there for support. All right, release that. And you can either move the strap to the other side. Left arm, 45-degree angle. Reaching back with this right hand. grabbing the foot, or you can put the strap on this right foot and offer the body a little more support. Again, we're not making the strap do the work. We're using those hamstrings, bringing the heel closer to the butt. The top of the hand, or the top of the foot, is pressing into the palm of the hand. And at the same time, the palm of the hand is pulling against the top of that foot. I feel this in my IT band on this side. Let's go ahead and get out of that. We're going to press ourselves up into a tabletop position. Maybe do a round of cat-cow while we're here to release that lower spine. No rush. And then we're going to come to a seated position. Come in to sit on the sit bones. Maybe you want to grab your towel or your blanket. So the hips can come onto the edge. If you want to be a little taller, you can fold the blanket up more. But the idea is to have the hips falling forward and down, releasing the hips and the lower back. Your version of straight legs, we're going to sit in our staff pose. Crown of the head reaching to the sky, our chest is open, hands are down alongside the hips. And we breathe for a couple of breaths, pressing down through the heels, maybe the knees, or maybe the legs are bent. Again, your version of straight. We're going to inhale those arms up overhead, bending from the hips. We're going to reach it forward. Think about sticking out the booty, and maybe you need to bend the knees a little bit more. It's okay. This is also a great place for a strap. You can take the strap, put it around the balls of the foot, and it gives you leverage. Just don't let the feet roll in together. That's why we have to drive down through the heels and try to straighten the legs so while we push against the strap. Bringing that chest forward. Again, maintaining that straight spine instead of rolling forward, which is an option. But again, I like to keep my spine straight whenever I can to counteract all that hunching that I do. So if you're using the strap, you just hang out here. If the arms are up overhead, you're just reaching those fingertips out and up. Maybe the biceps are by the ears. The shoulders are pulled away from the ears. We're not wearing our shoulders as earrings today. We'll stay for one more breath. On the next inhale, we rise up. Arms come down along the sides. We're going to work on strengthening those hip flexors. We'll start with the right leg. We're going to lift the leg up just a couple of inches off the floor. To maintain that straight spine, you might need to come down on the forearms and still have this leg up. You probably can't see me very well. So if I'm down on my forearms and my leg is up, I'm going to bring it up. And as long as I can maintain this straight spine, I'm going to just bring it up a few times, 8 to 10. And then at the end, we're just going to hold it. We're going to contract right here until it starts shaking. And then we're going to release it. We're going to shake it out. And then we'll go to the left leg. As long as you can maintain the straight spine, get back on my blanket. Doesn't need to be too high. Lifting up that left leg and start pulsing it up. Either sitting up or back on the forearms. You can do 8 to 10 times. Yoga instructors can't count, so it's really a good idea that you keep count for yourself. And then the last one, we're going to hold. We're going to contract in that hip. Pull the belly button in, supporting this lower back, keeping the spine straight. And relax and shake it out. Now we're going to work on our knee flexion. So I'm going to get rid of this blanket for myself. Still standing or sitting straight and tall, lifting the knee, extend it out. And extend. And extend. You can also use your strap here as well around the ball of the foot. Push it out, pull it back in. Push it out, pull it back in. And do that like, I don't know, 8 to 10 times. Then when you get here, you're going to hold that up. And then release. And then you move to the other side, pulling this knee in, maintaining that straight spine, send it out long, bring it in. Again, you'll do that 8 to 10 times, either with or without the strap, maintaining that straight spine. At the end, we hold it up, embracing those shapes. That's just muscle activation. And shake it out. Move the strap to the side. We're going to come down onto our back, and we're going to work on our bridge pose. Again, letting the whole spine imprint on the mat, bringing those feet close to the body, not too close, because when you come up in the bridge, again, you want your knee over your ankle, ankle over your heel. Tucking that chin to give that neck some space, tucking the hips, give that lumbar spine some space. Inhale, lift the hips, press down and forward with the feet, sending the chest towards the chin, no pressure in the neck. And we breathe. Still sending that breath into the belly, letting the body know that we're okay. That weight is evenly distributed between the feet and the shoulders. We'll take one more inhale. As you exhale, slowly come down, and then windshield wiper the legs, bending the legs, sending the knees side to side. And we'll take another 2 rounds of bridge. We can build upon that, or we can stay where we were. Inhale, those hips up, maybe rolling the shoulders down towards the mat, really pressing down through those arms, still no pressure in the neck. Knees no more than hip-width distance apart. Maybe you want to explore and add on, walking that left foot, heel toe it into the center, and pressing down with the left foot. Inhale, this right knee up, maybe extending the leg. Make sure you're keeping these hips square. Still no pressure in the neck. You can keep the leg bent, or you can have it out in line with the other knee, or you can have it reaching up to the sky. And let's bring that knee down. Put everything back where it was. Windshield wiper those knees side to side. You can stay with that original version, or I need to do my other leg. Inhale those hips up. Maybe rolling the shoulders down towards the mat, opening up that chest. Allowing the hips to come up a little higher. Heel toeing that right foot in, pressing down with that right foot. Inhale, that left knee up, and extending the leg, keeping the hips square. Your leg may not be straight, it's okay. And maybe you decided to keep it bent or out parallel, or maybe down on the ground. It's your choice. It's okay. You do you, and we will meet on our backs. Windshield wiping our knees side to side. And maybe pull the knees into the chest. Rock side to side, give that low back a little massage. Wrapping yourself up in love, compassion, forgiveness, gratitude. And finding stillness. Holding on to this right knee, extending that left leg out. Sorry about that. You can also choose to keep that leg bent, shining the kneecap up to the sky. If you're extending that leg out, maybe pointing the toes, reaching that energy all the way down the leg, out through the toes. Breathing into this, quieting the body, quieting the mind. Allowing that natural, normal breath to return. And go ahead and switch this out, holding onto the left leg, sending the right leg out, whether you've got it bent or you're choosing to straighten it. Maybe you want to see how it feels. If you don't like it, you can always change it. If you've ever had lower back discomfort, it could actually be coming from having short hip flexors. We lead such sedentary lifestyles, sitting at work in front of a computer, coming home, sitting in front of a television or scrolling on our phones. We don't take a lot of time to stretch and strengthen. And those muscles, they get short, and the back gets cranky. Let's go ahead and extend that left leg out. Point the toes, reach the hands overhead, and give yourself a full body stretch before settling into our final pose, Shavasana. One of the most important poses in yoga. If it's not comfortable having the legs straight without any support, maybe taking a blanket and putting it underneath the knees. Maybe you need a couple blankets to put underneath the backs of the thighs or the knees. Or maybe you just want to bend the knees and have the feet the same distance as the mat and let the knees rest in. I like to take a blanket or towel and place it right here at my hips on my pelvis. And just adds a little security. And the arms reaching down by the side. Maybe you choose to have one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart so that you can feel the breath rise and fall. As you inhale, feeling the body press against the palms. And as you exhale, feeling the palms fall. Maybe closing the eyes or having a soft gaze down. Take an inhale through the nose, feeling that cool air coming through the nostrils, traveling down the spine, inflating the belly, expanding the ribs, filling the chest all the way to the collarbone, holding at the top, And slowly releasing, emptying the chest, the ribs, and the belly. Pulling that belly button into the spine, getting rid of any leftover tension, anything that's no longer serving to you. Take another inhale through the nose. Holding at the top, maybe sipping in a little bit more air. Open the mouth, let it go. Allow your natural breath to come. Soften the brow, unclench the jaw. Relax the throat, the shoulders. Relax the belly, the hips. Relax the arms, the hands, the fingers. Release the legs, the feet, the toes. Keeping your mind in this present moment. Not worrying about what's coming after this or what may have come before, but staying right here for these last few moments. If you have more time to spend in Shavasana, I highly encourage it. And it's such a wonderful time to stay connected with the body, feeling the breath as it comes in and goes out. But if you must get going, maybe running your thumb across your fingertips, wiggling the toes, reaching the hands overhead, stretching, waking up the body before pulling the knees in towards the chest and picking your favorite side to roll to, coming to rest on that bottom arm, coming into the fetal position, the position of rebirth, fresh starts, taking a moment, allowing your practice to finish settling in, pressing yourself up with that free hand, maybe keeping those eyes closed, coming into the seated position with the legs crossed, or legs can be straight out ahead, whatever is comfortable for you. Spine straight, the crown reaching towards the sky, those sit bones rooting you to the earth. Dropping the hands down by the hips, opening up the chest. Taking a nice inhale. And releasing exhale. Inhale those hands out and up, scooping up that positive energy that you've created. Connecting the palms overhead, harnessing that positive energy, pulling it into your heart space, bowing into yourself, taking a moment before we head out into the world to share this positive energy. I hope the rest of your day is filled with peace, love, and blessings. Thank you so much for practicing with me and sharing your positive energy. I hope to see you again. If you like the comment or like the content, feel free to hit that thumbs up button, maybe subscribe, because I'd love to see you again. If you have a comment for me, keep it positive, please.